when I feel like nothing, always feel like I'm running. Both feel we're living worlds apart. It's fucked now, we lost in limbo. Remembering what you said though, and I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. No, 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 you should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here, but it's not by choice, no. Girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw you coming. You were so wild, both know I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed. You know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be.
Well, hello, saints and sinners. It's good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is August 21st, 2023. It is 5:24 in the East Coast of the United States. Everyone out west, hope you are doing well. Our prayers go out to you. It's great to see you all here in chat. Thanks for joining me. So, we were looking earlier, my team and I, and remember, oh, what love one another. Yay. Thank you so much for 7 months. I have loved our relationship together. It's been great. So thank you so much. And here's to another 7. Thank you, dear. I do appreciate you. What was I talking about? See, I'm like, you know. Rhonda, 4 months. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you, my dear. I know our relationship is fairly new, but I love you. I'm such a dad. It's just ridiculous. The dad jokes. Okay, I'll get with it. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay, so you guys remember Laura, and there has been, and truthfully, 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that. I didn't get a call. I do apologize for that. So you guys remember the rumors that kind of swirled around about Candus possibly being pregnant before. Now, Laura, she said, I guess when she was up there at one point or another, that she stood up and she's like, "Oh, wow, you're pregnant," or something to that effect. And Candace was like, "Yeah, I'm pregnant, whatever." Well, there is another receipt for that. I didn't drop it, but I'm going to show you who did. If you haven't seen this yet, let me find it. And I will show you. All right. Here it is. Oops. Oopsie. Let me see if I can change it around here. Okay. So this is Candace saying that she is pregnant. Some lady jumped on me and told me that I was lying. Rhonda. Oh, thank you, Blue Eyes. It's very sweet of you. And this says 3 years ago. And Candace writes, pregnant, 13 likes. Candace says, it happens. Yeah, you just had one not even over a year ago. Candace says, shit happens. Too much fun. Boy, doesn't that seem like a mother excited about having another child? Shit happens. Too much fun. Jody Sue, credit goes to her for this. She dropped this. Cotton Candy, thank you so much. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you for being a member. Yeah. So, what kind of mother? Jody Sue wrote, you also lied to every neighbor and all of this community and all church families with this post that year. Facts. So Candace was going around telling her neighbors, community members, churches, anybody who would listen that she was pregnant. Joan, yay. Thank you for becoming a member, my love. Appreciate it. Thank you. Very sweet. And not only, maybe she was pregnant, maybe she wasn't, but this post was, Summer wasn't quite a year old yet. So if Candace did have her tubes tied, she's a, it just shows that she's a liar and she will get whatever she can, whenever she can, from anybody at any time to use them. So either you was pregnant or you wasn't. And if you was pregnant, where's the baby? And if you wasn't pregnant, you're a liar. Justin, can you drop the link to join membership, please? My mods certainly can do that. Absolutely, and thank you. Did she carry this till full term, Pat? I have no idea if she was pregnant or not. Jody Sue says you also lied to every neighbor and all of this community and all church families with this post that year. We know she lied to Laura. I mean, you got to, I mean, after seeing this, after Jody Sue's account, after Candace's post, you have to believe that Laura's account is she's telling the truth. Jody Sue's confirming it. Candace wrote it. Laura said it. Most females don't want to look heavier than they are. So strange. Oh, it's not even just females. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm a little fluffy. Boo sheet. Boo sheet. Thank you for becoming a member, my love. I love her name. So cute. Con, the master manipulator. That's exactly exactly right. Um, just absolutely absurd that this woman, most triangulations are done with some burning these. Oh, not triangulations. Sorry. Tube. Sorry. I thought you was meaning like triangulating the three of them. Oh God, you can tell I. Never mind. Okay. I remember early on someone saying she had a baby after summer and gave her up for adoption, and it was a rumor. Even Bernie is. That's exactly true. Just because you've had you know, burnt, clipped, tied, baked, sauteed, clipped, you know, whatever. Doesn't mean you still can't get pregnant. It happens. It happens. Um, but this, this in my personally, it makes me believe Laura. It gives her a little more credibility that she was telling the truth. Um, she needs no ovaries or no uterus. That's to put it mildly. Yes, Sharon. It's a definitely. And who calls? Pregnant Candace Rose Wells is what she's got to hear. It happens. Someone wrote, yeah, you just had not even a year ago. Candace says, shit happens, too much fun. How is she that desirable? Pink Banjo, from what? You know, these are people in the country, and it's not really desirable. There's nothing, it has nothing to do with desire. It has more with something. I can't say it. Uh, Selection is fewer. Yes. Yes. Uh, I'm trying to be classy, y'all. I really am. I think back to the conversation with Cher and Nana. I can't stop thinking about how much Cher is putting pressure on Dawn regarding Candus. Um, could you elaborate more on that, JPL? I'm not following. Alcohol renders any birth control ineffective to add the beer goggles. No shit. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's obvious that she shouldn't have any more children, not for her health. Exactly. I mean, Candace has, that we know of, has birthed 7 children. I mean, her uterus is tired. Give it up. Like slim pickings in the hollow. Yes. Yes. She should have had that clown car cleaned out by now. Does anyone know the age gaps between the other kids? Candace is hardly the picture of responsibility. I've just never heard a woman say, "Oh, I'm pregnant. Shit happens." That shows you exactly right there, in my opinion, exactly what kind of person she is. Hold on one second, guys. I'm so okay. Um, Back in the day, most women had large families back in the homesteads, but hard on them physically. You know something? My great grandmother, she had 16 children and she lived to be 96 years old. I mean, you could have probably, thrown her uterus over her shoulder, but she was tough, man. She was tough. Uh so terrible to say, but I wish God would have some point. I agree. I agree. Okay. Sorry. What? Okay. Sorry. My family just got home and it's going to be loud for a moment. My grandma had 12 kids and lived to be 97 years old. Listen, they were tough people. They were tough. Um, and let me tell you something. They had 16 kids, 18 kids, 20 kids in some cases, and their house was cleaner than Don and Candace's house. I can tell you that. About time to put C on her farm for. Oh God, I don't know about that. So, I want to go over this morning about Ziggy's information. Now, I was live on my other channel earlier today because I just wanted to talk to you guys about it. We're going to review it again. Credit goes to the Zigsters on this. I want to hear your opinions and your thoughts um, on this.
The connected messages won't go through until a few minutes afterwards. So you're sitting there waiting.
Could y'all hear that? Panic crack houses work. Could y'all hear that? Let me know. Candace probably like the attention we got when she was pregnant. Well, okay, thank y'all. Now, can you imagine going to these churches and saying that you have a human being in your body and you actually are lying? God's like, You know what I mean? Oh, there's a new soul in my body. That's what most parents think. Oh, but Candace is lying. Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Because listen, when she had one of the children in Arkansas, the one before that she got taken away immediately at birth, they rushed her to the hospital because she was literally active in labor, and she was so high on drugs that they knew, like, instantly. They was like, you are not, no. And then they also test, like, the placenta and everything to, make sure it's, you can tell when someone's been long-term abusing. It's terrible. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I personally, I don't ask how nobody should feel, you feel the way you feel, I feel the way I feel. I think if you are bringing a child into this life and the child is addicted, like, I feel like that should be attempted murder. You are, like, it goes to that, where does the responsibility, you know, this child has rights inside of a mother, another being. I just saw a clip today when she was on Dr. Phil. She looks pregnant to me. Her face. Well, remember when Candus was with Kathy, and it was right when Dawn got out of jail. Right when Dawn got out of jail, and she was like at the DMV or something. Candace, a lot of people was like, "Oh my God, she looks pregnant," but she also, was drinking a lot then. So I think she was pregnant at the beginning. This one summer went missing. Knowledge of pregnancy and still use. Yeah. I mean, listen, can you imagine just a child should be flourishing inside, you know, the mother, growing and stuff. It should not be dependent already on opioids when it's developing and that type of thing. You are just setting the chemistry up for later on, addiction. And addiction is terrible. It's terrible. And everyone gets there differently. Um, and a lot of people get there unintentionally. Well, I don't think nobody ever really chooses to become addicted. It just kind of happens. You get, and one day you're dependent. Um, People in addiction can look very swollen and possibly even look pregnant with the liver damage. Yes. Yeah, that is true. You can look very bloated and stuff. All that. So, all right. So let's give Ziggy the credit on this. Please drop her link, mods. If you haven't subscribed to Ziggy, you can please do subscribe to her. She's very close with the Fred Hill, the neighbor of Don and Candace. He's currently in jail for unrelated charges, math charges, and very interesting. I go to bed very early now, rather early now, and I didn't get to watch this, but she was live almost all night.
Waiting for the rest of the message. Let
me find it here.
Doubling down about Cotton. He's still under the belief that Cotton had knowledge or some type of information of the day that Summer went missing. That's what I've got. I have to watch how I talk to him about this stuff. Because I don't want to get him in trouble, so we don't really talk too much about that stuff. And if I do, it's usually kind of in code a little bit. But, I don't see how he can why he would be getting in any trouble. Like, if all we want to know is the truth of what happened to Summer, and I don't know why anybody would try to keep that from getting out there. See, some information is still coming in, and I'm wanting to make sure before I say anything, it's all correct, or I get it all straight. Don's mom buried. Interesting. According to him, Candus does know Cotton. And Fred, now I've got it from Fred, messaged me and said that he claimed to have been sleeping with Candus, this Cotton guy. So Fred heard him say this stuff too.
Okay. So Fred also alleges that Candus and Cotton were having a rendezvous, shall we say. And Laura said that as well. So yeah, it just, oh, my camera went off. So, it's something, it's a little, that's another kind of thing. And the thing is, and I said this earlier, Candus completely lies when she doesn't even need to, I mean, I get it that she's probably lying because she doesn't want to hear it from Dawn, just like she didn't want to hear it from Jose or whatever, but because she said she didn't know Jose after she said she did know Jose, after Andrew said he knew that was Jose, Allie said it was Jose, everyone said it was Jose. And then she was in the back of a car on another channel and said, well, Justin might have paid someone for Jose to come up there, when she had already said it was Jose. So you just don't know how to take her. Dawn went back to Tennessee. Fred was questioned about Cotton hit YouTube. Candus was a mumbling fool back in Arkansas. She was terrified, in my opinion. Way down yonder on a Chattahoochee. Yeah, remember that? I love Alan Jackson. He's been really ill, by the way. Alan Jackson has. Hope he's been really sick. Was Cotton too old? Dawn is like 18 years older than Candus. Candus has a thing for older men, and she always has. And that's just kind of been how she's always, I think she's looking for more of sadly a father figure, which is really sad. I think Candus just wants affection, attention, and for some of us in different times of our lives, we use sex for attention, or companionship. But I don't think Candace ever stopped. So what? Candace has a thing for any man. Yeah. Yes. Well, and that photo of the guy standing outside of the hotel room, there was rumors that there was other people inside that hotel room at that time while Don was at work. And Don doesn't give her any money. Like he doesn't want to give her any money. It's a way of it's a financial abuse. It's a way to control um your mate. And I think Candace may make it however she can make it. Candace comes from the streets, like literally the streets and the homeless shelters, and she knows how to work the churches. She knows how to do that stuff. On a human level, I feel for Candace, but some criminals can't be helped. Absolutely, C Star. I mean, this is the thing. Every adult was once a child, right? Everyone was once a child. And when they're children, you know, you gotta have compassion for Don and Candace and when they were children, because they probably had a really effed up life and is probably because of their childhood as many of the decisions and the way they think now. Some Most actually become a product of what their childhood was, and some go the opposite way. And Don and Candace went with it. I mean, can you imagine being raised by Grandis? Can you imagine just being raised by Grandis? Oh my God. That's unthinkable. Well, she was raised by the old guy. I don't know if I think that was her real bio dad, but he was like an old man whenever Candace was little, and can you imagine like just like uh God only knows what happened in that home. So I think anybody should have compassion for a person in their early years. I think it's the human thing to do. But once you have children, it changes. And that's when you really have to grow up and know that you lived an effed up existence as a child and you don't want to put your children through that. When you know better, you do better, right? Hopefully. Um, Don didn't care what Candace had to do to get dollars as long as it didn't affect his pocket. Yes. All right, let's continue this.
So there's a few coincidences that he's talking about, and one has to do with the HHR. So he was like, so he goes, so guess who has a white HHR? I'm like, who? You know. He says, where's that message that he mentions? Oh, guess who had a white HHR that was seen at Simpson Loop for 3 consecutive days before Summer went missing? And I said, who? And he says, Cotton's sister. But now he says the car is dark blue. So he doesn't know if the car was painted or if she traded it for a different one.
Okay, now there's that. Now, Fred did talk about in his, I believe it was his first interview, about a white car that set, I believe it was around, don't quote me, but it was around Simpson Loop, around that time, whenever, days leading up to Summer's disappearance. Now, we have checked to see if Cotton's sister had an HHR, and an HHR is like a PT Cruiser, but it's made by Chevrolet. It's their version of the PT Cruiser. Wasn't a very popular car. It's a unique looking car, um, but we could not find at all, and believe me, we looked, that Cotton's sister ever had any HHR whatsoever. Now, does that mean she never drove an HHR? She may have drove an HHR. We don't know. But I can tell you there was never one in her name that we saw, and we have a really good source of finding that stuff out. Okay. So I can't find that she ever had that. Now, hell, it may be in Billy Bob 2 trailers down, that, or 2 sheds down, 2 doors down, they're laughing and drinking. Okay. Um, but yeah, no, can't find anything on that. Hold on, I'm getting something. Okay. So, did any people drive legally in Tennessee? Selena, yes, they do. They do. Most people in that area are absolutely amazing, good, salt of the earth, would take the shirt off their back, help you get gas if you ran out of gas. Really good people, truly. And but I don't see. Now, she may have one right now, and it may be in her boyfriend's name, but we'll still dig and try to find that, but there's nothing in her name. But you can rest assured we'll still look. Grandis giving Jose a ride out of state. The changing the tailgate is pretty sus. I think she had a wreck. If I'm pretty sure she had like a wreck, or she was tail ended or something. Um, no rumor had it. It was painted. I remember. Rhonda, are you a local? Okay, first of all, um do you mean Grandis or do you mean the HHR? Hey, Chris. Yes, at the Dollar General. Mm-hmm. Grandis got reared in at the Dollar General. Mm-hmm. And Lita. Right. Allegedly, Rick. Grandis screamed, "My check, I mean my neck. My check, I mean my neck." Oh, God. We gotta laugh. What's about the milk jug pic showing her leg swollen? Momo, we looked into that. I mean, in my opinion, her Summer's hands look puffy, a little swollen, but I don't know if it's the leg or not that's swollen. I think it may be how the picture is, to be really honest with you. But the hands, they looked a little puffy, and under her nails was extremely dirty. And in my opinion, being in that water, it shouldn't have been that dirty. She shouldn't have been that dirty being in the water. Um, Good afternoon. Hello, Patricia. Candus went to the ER after Dollar General accident on the 4th and June 15th, in my opinion, seeking pills. Mm-hmm. Her nails would have been clean. They would have been clean. Um, and I mean, you can be in pond water and it's still going to clean under your nails and stuff. There's nothing more that disgusts me than uh like people who you can plant a garden under their nails. You know what I mean? Like particularly adults. Um because it's like, even if you shampoo your hair, that should be cleaning out your nails at the very best. And like, you ain't even shampooed your hair in 6 years. Um but kids playing outside in the mud or whatever, that's different. But adults, ugh. Where is Can now? Can is on her can. Uh, I hope she never fell out of the car after it. The thing is, there is so many things that could have happened that day. We know, based upon the Fox interview that they took of Dawn June 15th of this year. Dawn says June 15th was a picture perfect day. He let the boys and Summer on the roof. Well, how did you let the boys and Summer on the roof when you were not home? And because after Candus got home, right, and did a few things, Dawn was still at work. Dawn, we know you were not at home, or sorry, were at home during the day on June 15th. TBI knows, like, if they know, trust. Amy Land, well, see, we thought it was the 14th, but Dawn, it's in quotes, talking about it was a beautiful day, June 15th. Well, I always thought it was the 14th as well. Yes, it feels like hell here in Houston. Oh. Um, I can probably find that interview. Hold on. Give me a few seconds here. Let me just dig it out somewhere. And I'll show it to you. I have so many emails, guys. It is crazy. Quantum effect. Name us. Give me 1 second. I see. Do you have that Fox interview? I've got to have it like right here. It's got to be before that. I've had to. I want to see that. I might have got it. 1 second. Couple more seconds here. Hawkins County. Well, if it's not here, I'll find it later. It's in a couple videos back of mine. And I talk about it. You can go back there and find it. But it was done of this year on Fox. And they quoted Don. Certainly did. Let me just try this. Okay, I found it. Sorry it took a second, guys. I wasn't expecting to pull it up. But it's important nonetheless. All right, so it was January 20th, 2023. And let me read this. It's hard to see. Let's see this. Okay. I remember the sun was shining, and I kept asking myself, how can my heart be so broke and it be so beautiful? And it was beautiful sunshine for 30 days after Summer's disappearance. Her father, Don Wells, recalled of the day Summer went missing in an hour-long interview with Tim Mullen. All right, this is the important part right here. Ready? Here we go. Quote, he remembered June 15th, 2021 as a, quote, picture perfect day when Summer wanted to go on the roof with her brothers, which he allowed. He remembered his daughter as active, hands-on. She would follow her father when he mowed the lawn and roughhouse with her and her brothers, Wells said. What about that? You know what I mean? There you got it. He can't remember anything else. Well, he remembers June 15th as a picture perfect day when Summer wanted to get on the roof with her brothers. Don, you said you was not at home, but you were, and everyone knows it. You're lying to yourself. There was always barefoot. It's guys, let me tell y'all something. You said barefoot, and that I was picking my kids up earlier. I was in the carpool line, left, got on the interstate, and guess what came out of the guardrail? And I and another car had to slam on our brakes. A bear. A black bear. And like I would have physically hit that mother trucker if I had not slammed on my brakes. And it wasn't an adult bear, and it wasn't a cub. It was like a adolescent. Maybe Kimberly. But I was like, dang. Because I mean, I hit a deer. I just bought a brand new vehicle, had it 10 days, and was leaving work at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Just got on the interstate, and this deer jumped over the guardrail, and I literally incinerated it. Like, it was done. You couldn't, like, there was nothing left of that freaking deer. The police is like, where's the deer? I'm like, well, mostly in my grill. But they're like, it was really bad. Yeah, a bear. One of my a guy I used to work with, uh we were always on the road, and he was at like in a plaza, and there was a bear that came out of like the dumpster, and he hit it with his car, and they issued us company cars where I worked, and they gave you like, it was just like the littlest car that they could give you pretty much, and killed it, like literally killed the deer. It was crazy. um but yeah, I'm like, it was very close. But when someone said barefoot, I was like, oh, bear. That's why I thought of that. Yeah, it's crazy. There's lots of bears here, I guess. So it was taken out. A lady that lives near me was taken out by a moose. So sad. Like, unalived, Sharon. Moose are humongous. They really are. They're humongous. We hit a cow once in the dark winter. Truck totaled. Law enforcement had to. Oh, wow. Moose are worse than bears. Hell yeah, moose got horns. How can the cow and others be so gullible supporting this? Um, at this point, to be honest with you, it's sheer I don't know. I just don't know. It's crazy. Let it loose, Marlena. Let it loose. Um. See, you see, I was sitting on my hands with the moose comment. That's what I was saying because I was getting ready to call her a moose, and then I kind of.
So we don't know if this HHR was painted or if it was traded, but supposedly Cotton's sister had a white HHR at the time, and that a white HHR was seen at Simpson Loop for 3 consecutive days before Summer went missing. He said,
She's catching up. One sec.
she said yes, he did have knowledge about the stuff of the day she went missing. He doesn't believe that Lawson had anything to do with Summer's disappearance. That was just another little thing added I'm seeing right now, that he doesn't believe Ronnie Lawson. He says,
Okay. So Fred alleges that Cotton knew or had knowledge of the day, something about the day Summer went missing. Well, how can that be? We can't talk to him. He's dead, obviously. So we can't talk to him. And I know people say, well, blame the dead guy, but it appears, we don't know for sure, but they are investigating Cotton's death. I personally don't think Fred had anything to do with it, with either Cotton's death or Summer's, whatever happened to Summer. I don't think Cotton had anything to do with Summers personally. Fred, to me, doesn't seem like he doesn't seem deviant in hurting children. He hasn't had umpteen, SA attempts and rumors like Dawn and Dawn's behavior. And also, it's a 95% chance that it is someone in the house or a close friend, when someone goes missing. Cotton, he was an old man. He couldn't get out of a ditch whenever there was fires. He was on the news. If you guys didn't see that, I think it was my last live that I did, or the one before that, I showed you a video of Cotton during an interview when there was fires in Tennessee. And Cotton couldn't even get out of a ditch. So how is this man, with what Candus has told us and Dawn, which we know that they clearly lie, clearly. I just showed you that with the, what Jody just posted about her lying to everyone, who saying she was pregnant herself. Laura said that as well. She lied about knowing Jose. after saying she knew him. So it just shows that, in my opinion, now more than ever, what they are saying to us, even though that's all we have, is not, it's not completely true. Cotton, it's not possible for that man to go up the hill or down the hill, much less packing a kid, in 2 minutes. That's just not possible for that. It's not physically possible. It's just not. I did want to show you guys this. Did I put it up? Let me make sure I put it up. Candus did keep up with the Megan Boswell local story as well. Let me show you that real quick. We're going to continue this interview. But Candus, she, in 2020, posted several times about the Megan Boswell. In court documents, Megan Boswell lied to police. Megan Boswell says she knows who has Evelyn. You know, that was a big thing. She posted several times during that. So it's interesting. The hill's too steep. You know, whether the hill is, I mean, the hill is very steep. Don't get me wrong. It's steep. Been there, done that. It's just not possible, capable for this old man to go up there and grab a child. It's not even possible. I mean, like, you don't even know who's behind that door. You know, and Don's truck was up there, so any neighbor that knew them knew Don's vehicle was up there, even though he was in a Subaru, so they would think Don was home. And there's okay. Sorry about that. So, you know, it's just not possible at all. All right, let's continue with this.
He says Lawson's being replaced next year, but he did not have anything to do with Summer's disappearance. Don and Candus knows exactly what happened, and when the truth comes out, puzzle pieces are going to be flying, is what he says. He's still stuck on Don and Candus being the main ones. Trying to lie to me. They're telling. But he claims from people that are trying to put out lies on him to try to make him look bad.
All right, Amy, what am I not grasping? What am I not grasping? Tell me, what am I not grasping?
Well, that's possible. Somebody just texted me and said that
That's
So I
exactly
just
what
got
she
this
did.
information. That's why I haven't talked to anybody about this. Literally, just like within the last hour, we started talking about this stuff. Um, he says from people trying to lie on him, they're telling more truth than they realize. And then he said, yes, he did have knowledge of the day she went missing.
So, to be honest, the Lawson thing I think was a kind of a wasted question, to be quite honest with you. But there is rumor that he's going to retire. Did that woman say what I wasn't grasping? Fred didn't say Cotton did anything. He said he has knowledge of that day. Maybe he saw something. I totally get that, Amy Lou. That's why I said he has knowledge. I'm saying from my perspective, he did not do anything. Nobody, you know, neither one of these may have and probably doesn't have anything to do with Summer Wells in the long run. Um, but I don't think, in my opinion, that either one of them, Fred says he has knowledge of what happened that day, just like the police said Fred had knowledge of, certain aspects of what happened when Cotton died. Faithy Poo, thank you, love. Love you, my dear. Hope you're well. Thank you. Mazzy Star, thank you so much for your super sticker, my love. Thank you. I do appreciate you. Be safe at work, Faith, my love. Good seeing you. I'm still curious about the guy with footprints close to Beach Creek. Now the trucker is gone. Hello, my ranch. I don't think Fred had anything to do with Summer. I don't either. I don't either, personally. Very possible. I mean, and that's true out of, I mean, it's is it a coincidence or is it not? You think of Grandis. Well, she was around when her daughter went missing, and now she's around when her granddaughter went missing. I mean, to be honest with you, if she ends up having, like, Grandis has nothing to do with either one of them, she needs to, like, play the lottery or something, because the odds of that is just crazy.
Cotton had lots of knowledge of the day Summer went missing. Candus does know Cotton. He talked about sleeping with her.
Holy Hades, Faith. Oh my God, gifted 20 memberships. Thank you, Faith. It's raining memberships. Hallelujah. It's raining memberships. It's craziness. Thank you so much, Faith. Thank you so much.
And I have to kind of like I could probably get show some screenshots too here in a little bit, just so it's why you guys will see. It's hard to, he's easier to communicate with now. I can definitely tell a difference a little bit. He's still not like number one in the spelling bee or anything, but I definitely can understand him a little bit better. So he says, so I'm having to kind of like try to understand what he's saying. He says, knows all about okay. All I know has been talked about in the white Chevy HHR. It's blue now. Imagine that. And the waterfalls at Laurel Run Park, just 1,000 feet behind Cotton's house. The caves behind Cotton's house, and that is where they found Cotton's body. And yes, he knows who purchased off of him. It is the person, which I haven't even looked into that guy yet. I think it's shitty, but I'm not trying to get the guy hurt or anything. So I won't be mentioning his name right now unless I find any type of. It's been mentioned on here before, but people in that area do not like snitches at all. And I'm not trying to. Now, if I find out this guy has any ties to some of this other stuff, I might just not care. But, anyways, I told him that's pretty shitty of that guy because isn't he the one you helped with his motorcycle? And then he says that white HHR is now a dark blue.
If y'all were gifted a membership from Miss Faith, please thank her. That is so nice. Thank you again, my Faithy dear. You're so nice to me. Love you.
And Cotton's sister has had a white HHR at the time. The TBI has known it was white. Now is blue. So the TBI knows that they did have a white HHR at the time, or one of in his family did. Now there's a blue one. So I don't know if it was painted or traded for a blue. If I was to bet, it probably traded for a newer one, in my opinion, is what he said. He said lots of stuff the law asked me about Cotton had mentioned as well about the day the little girl. Oh, here's something else. Here's something else that is a little bit more of information to look into. So supposedly that little girl that Don tried to get in his truck, I guess Cotton's vehicle was found 300 feet from where Don tried to pick up that little girl, all within 1,000 feet of Cotton's house. And Cotton's car was found at church and cemetery where Don's mom's buried.
Again, this is all alleged. But do you remember, put a 5 in the chat if you remember in the very beginning when Dawn, or when Summer first went missing, Dawn said that he tried, there was this little girl outside and he went up to, he like took the little girl like inside or knocked on their door, and the grandpa came out freaked out. They called the cops and the grandpa went off on him. Does anyone remember that? That was in the very beginning. Thank you, Alabama. You're very kind, honey. Yes, I think PG was on the phone with him then. That was the weirdest thing. That is the weirdest thing when Don did that. So Fred is alleging that the property where that happened at, Cotton's house, is, I guess, like very close to it. If it was true, that is exactly right, Amy. If it was true, it did come from Don. Don is always rescuing little girls on the street. Think about that. Well, I mean, he said, oh, I don't have it on this stream, I don't think, but he's always saying that he's been in places where these awful things have happened to kids. Don always worries about other kids, but not his, and that's something. I think Don and Candus worry about nothing more than themselves. I think that has been proven 9 children over. That's exactly right, Robin. That's exactly right.
So the day that Cotton was found deceased, his car was found at the church and cemetery roads, right at where Don's mom is buried, over at Karen Goat, over at that cemetery there. That I have videos of it up on my channel somewhere. But that little girl, I guess, that Don said he was trying to save because his daughter got took or whatever, I guess wherever that little girl was really close, within 1,000 feet of Cotton's property. I don't know if that has any significance, but Fred's mentioning it, so it must have something. He must be trying to get at something. And he goes, "What a coinky dink!" So the waterfall in the Laurel Run Park is just behind Cotton's house.
So Cotton was, I was picturing Cotton died at, some trail or something like that. That's what I was thinking. But I guess he died behind his house where, that those falls are. It's kind of, I guess his yard kind of is, his backyard is that area, which is where Candus used to take the kids a lot to those falls. We have pictures of them at the falls there, underneath of them, climbing the rocks. We have video, all of that. But I mean, if he died in his backyard with that, I mean, the Black Falls, 1,000 feet. The Black Falls, 1,000 feet from Cotton's house. Oh, I'm sorry, Pink Butterfly. I hope it gets better for you, honey. Listen, the clouds don't stay out forever. Right? No rainbow with no rain, right? It'll get better for you. I need to, that's what I'm saying. I need to look on the map and stuff and see more into that and look. I believe Dudley was used from the beginning. Well, Don keeps going back to Dudley. Dudley. He said it the other night on Chairs. He says my still number one suspect was Dudley. And I'm like, well, that's because that was your plan, in my opinion. If I remember right, Don told Molly and Laura that the story of him helping the little girl, I can't remember if it was that live or if it was with Chris. Dudley definitely has an alibi. there's a video of Candus, Grandma Allie, and all the kids. But yes, it was taken when Dawn was in Utah. And, that could have been when her and Cotton, just throwing out theories, that could have been when they potentially even met. There's so much to this, guys. It is so freaking frustrating. Correct, they're sticking to the original script. Yeah. I believe Don and Candace know where Summer is due to him saying he'll see her in the resurrection, and they can't speak of Rose either. Why? They are just act like they want to forget about Summer. Oh, I'm sorry, Pink Butterfly. You should be able to get that back. If you have a Visa logo or on your debit card or credit card, they will reimburse you. Yeah, man. Yeah, they all stick to the original script, and if they don't know how to answer it, they just don't remember. Yep, yep. They don't remember after 3 o'clock. It's so funny how that happens, isn't it? Um, Connie, I hope Summer is found. I believe God made everything in this universe, and I believe He can uncover anything in this universe. So that is my prayer. That is my prayer. Um, if Don moves to Utah, I'm putting Summer's face on every possible corner. He won't be able to go anywhere without seeing her face. That's where Don wants to be. Don wants to be in Utah. Candace does not. And that was even when Summer, was not missing. That's what, Don went out there. He enrolled his son, one of the sons in school, the one that he had out there. And it was just kind of a split family for that amount of time. And Don wants his father's property. Yeah. Amen. Dina Lynn. Amen. God unearth Quentin. He will unearth little Summer. And listen, I'm praying that a hunter, a hiker, someone with their underwater radar, underwater camera, rock climber, anything like this is many times how someone is found. And I pray it happens sooner than later. I hope TBI, Hawkins County are just there sitting. I hope the prosecutor is, making its list and checking it twice. But one thing I will never be for is anyone who harms children in any way, shape, or form, neglects them, regardless of whether they did something or not. I can't be for something like that. 7 alibis is stupid. You only need one real one. Well, Chloe, when he said that, he said, I have 7 alibis and you have none. Candace, you're going down. That's exactly what he said. Satellite images, Mike, yes. Um, but according to Dawn, she will never be found. Well, I can say this. with Rose, she still hasn't been found. And although I don't think they're connected. I don't know if they're not, though. It's unsolved. Rose has not been found. But everyone is somewhere, right? Everyone is somewhere. Oh, Bercy, thank you so much. You're very good to me, honey. Thank you. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Always very kind. I know, Plant Diva. 14 years today. I know. Thank you again, Bercy. Plant Diva, and that's exactly right. Never say never. There was less than a 5% chance that they would have found Quentin and knowing that he was in there. That was an enormous battle. But listen, the people or the person who did it, they've got to meet their maker. And I'm telling you, if you are watching this and you have knowledge or did something to Summer Moon Utah Wells or anyone, pay for it in this life. Don't wait until the next one. Don't wait. We're all going to have to stand before God. I'm telling you, that's something I would rather. And it's not just enough to say, that is something you have to pay a real consequence for, is taking someone's life. You have to take the punishment for that in this life, whatever may come. Whatever may come. I would rather take it in this life, 30, 40 years, rather than eternity. That's just my opinion. And I'm telling you, I really believe when it comes to Don, particularly, there's a side of him that he doesn't even understand himself. I see you and I and a couple other people on my research team. We've taken several classes that Chris McDonough has recommended to us. When they come in and they speak and stuff, we've taken a couple of their classes, and they teach even about serial unalivers and stuff that they don't. A lot of times they don't even understand why they do it. It's this, it's like this impulse in them from whatever reason. And Don has this, he gets enraged. And while he is enraged, it just goes up, 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 up until it plateaus. And then it's, I'm sorry, forgive me, I should have never done that. And I think they, he really, you see that all the time when he goes rageful. He doesn't know. A lot of people don't know how to take care of your emotions. They just see complete red. And it's kind of like the classic thing is like when you see someone in DV, they will hurt their mate physically, emotionally, or whatever, and then they'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. Please forgive me." It'll never happen again until it happens again. Yes, classic narcissist. Mohawk, yes, yes. A flash, a lash out, and then back to normal. Yes. Yes. They're meaningless, absolutely, because they don't think of consequences during those moments. They only see their anger, or they only see the right now. How am I feeling right now? Not the consequences that come after those few seconds. It's like people who unalive someone with a pew pew, right? Just split seconds can change your entire life. The person that does it, and the person that's on the other side of that, and then everyone around them, it changes everything. A split second. So you have to have enough impulse control, because I mean, people who have very poor impulse control, they have a very hard time in life, and they become their own worst enemy in a lot of aspects. And that goes with DV, or many, many other aspects. I believe Don has I mean, I think Don, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I think Don has a definite, we have the, like Chris said, we have the public self, the private self, which is, um, your close friends, your wife, your husband, the ones that you feel most comfortable around, right? And then you have the secret self that you will never tell anybody. And every one of us have those. Every one of those. Every one of us have those. But there are some, with Don, I can't imagine, because the things that he tells the public, you and I, we are gobsmacked that he would say something like that, right? Like his daughter, who, his words, not mine, got AR'd many times, took it like a champ. She didn't go, quote, bitching and complaining. She didn't go whining about it. His words. That's his public self. Think about the man's private self, the ones who he feels comfortable with, and the innermost self. Can you imagine? He said that in front of the world. Yes, that's your daughter, Dawn. That is exactly right. That is your daughter. Can you imagine a father saying the things that he says that may have happened to Summer? Just the way he just spins them off of his mouth? Most of us can't say that about a stranger, let alone a family member or your child. And then you have those that support those type of people. And then sometimes I'm like, is it me? Is something wrong? You know what I mean? Because I'm like, how do they like how does someone support someone like that? He is a sick man. He is a sick man. And Dawn's father, senior, he has bailed him out his entire life. And I think his dad, bailed him out his entire life. But, I don't know how Dawn was raised or whatever, but it it really makes you wonder. He's definitely an enabler. If he had nothing to do with it, I'm shocked Candus is even. Yeah. Let's see. In other words, he's saying that behavior is okay. So what makes us think he wouldn't do anything to Summer? Well, that's I mean, you have a point. You have a valid point there. If it's okay that it's done to his older daughter and she didn't go crying, she didn't go complaining, his words, then I mean, I know what I want to say, but then I start speaking and I just go speechless because I just can't. I'm just like, what? Because it's so ludicrous. Most fathers would be after somebody for doing that to their daughter, not saying need to. Well, that's exactly right. I mean, most of us, country girl, most of us, you know, if we have a daughter, we don't want them to get married till 35. And, probably there's not many people that we think is maybe good enough for our daughter, men. So it takes a special person. So, but Dawn, just anyone could have done this to her. And it was, took it like a champ. It's fine. Took it like a champ. It's fine. All right, guys. I love you all. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. You could have chosen to be anywhere, but you chose to be here with me, and I am thankful for each of you. Um, Justice for Summer Wells. As you and I know, there's something about uh, this case that has grabbed a hold of us, our hearts, and it's Summer, of course, but she's been given up by so many people, and we just can't let her down. And I know TBI, FBI, Hawkins County are doing everything they can humanly possible. I have to believe that. I have to believe that. So I love you all. Oh, I'm sorry. It is what it is. I got to do some stuff. I got to get up really early now. So I love you all. I'm sure I'll see you guys in a chat room or something in just a little bit or whatever, but I appreciate you all. Please hit that thumbs up. After this live has ended, replay crew, people who are live here now, do me a favor, leave a heart in the comment section, a smiley face, or I'm leaving a comment, or leave a comment of something about the video or whatever. I would appreciate it. It helps get that out there. We need the world to see Summer Moon Utah Wells. I love you all. God bless each and every single one of you. We'll see you in the next one tomorrow, hopefully. I might be live early tomorrow morning. So we'll see you then. Bye bye.